again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again.
Knows that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening. So here it goes. Nope. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time.
Make of this performance.
Oh, no, don't ask me first. I thought he was funny. I thought he actually got a few great jokes in. I thought the best moment was we talked about the assassination attempts and made light of what he's experienced, because I think he's experiencing real trauma, real PTSD as a result of the shootings, but he's still able to have a light moment in this room. And he took advantage of the fact that Kamala Harris wasn't there.
Which is really the subtext of this whole thing.
Exactly. That she didn't.
They're usually supposed to be in this.
If you're having a likability issue, the last thing you would want to do is, how do I say this? The last thing you would want to do is alienate any more potential voters.
Voting for Kamala Harris here? Absolutely no.
No. Not possible.
There's nothing she can do or say for us to change our mind.
Certain about her. There's just a feeling, and I'm going to do lots more research before I do vote. There are rumors and things that I need to research more. Still leaning towards him a little bit more.
Rumors about her, like what kind of rumors?
Sleeping her way to the top.
There's a bit of a nasty line there with that second one where that woman basically said, I heard a rumor that she slept her way to the top. Of course, if you watch the full clip, you got a woman who then responds by saying, well, he slept his way to the top, which of course is a load of BS because Donald Trump has, for the most part, always been on top, so therefore you cannot sleep your way to the top. And I don't think he's ever had a woman in charge of him outside of his mother. But, yeah, we got to talk a little about this Al Smith dinner. Now, guys, I wanted to get this video out on Friday. It was supposed to be a special video, but, of course, I'm getting it out on Saturday, and I'm making it on Friday night because, obviously, as things happen, obviously, you have to make adjustments. Speaking of that, I got a couple of updates at the end of the video for Gear Issue 33. Now, with that right there out of the way, make sure you guys please go ahead and cut the notifications on for the video. Make sure you guys also at the same time go ahead and hit the like button. And to go on top of that, make sure you guys also share the video. Please consider subscribing. Let's make this channel much, much bigger. And now let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the Al Smith dinner on the surface doesn't really seem like that big of a deal. Except it kind of is in a way, and it is kind of symbolic. It's basically the time in the election where the two candidates get together and say, no hard feelings. If you win, you win. You lose, you lose. No hard feelings at all. But, of course, we've got cackling Kamala out there sounding like, well, I borrowed these from two other content creators, people on Twitter, and they kind of did side-by-side comparisons to other speeches, and, of course, this also includes Hillary Clinton. Normally, if you are winning an election, you normally are, let's just say, not as vicious or forceful with your language.
Tired of the negative, dark, divisive, dangerous vision and behavior of people who support Donald Trump. It's time for us to say no. We are not going backwards.
Never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States.
Clearly the joy is gone, but obviously the joy is definitely with the former president.
Holds that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening. So here it goes. Nope. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time, and they shoot.
Donald Trump, and I went back and rewatched the Al Smith dinner. He was way funnier this time around than he was the last time around. I played that in montage because obviously there are people out there making compilations, and one person made one of a top 5, which we'll probably play for you guys here soon. But still, though, the point is this right here. Kamala Harris is supposed to be about joy and vibes, and obviously the joy is gone. This woman is now screaming and hollering, and she even kind of, well...
Für richtig, gib du jetzt eine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
Before we get fully into it, the link to my second channel will be in the description box and the comment section. I've finally figured out what I'm going to be doing with that. And of course, there's going to be some updates at the very end of the video, so make sure you guys stick around for the full bit. And let's go ahead and talk about why it is that this is kind of symbolic of who this woman really and truly is.
You're exhausted, that's why you're canceling events. Are you exhausted?
What event have I canceled? I haven't canceled. She doesn't go to any events. She's a loser. She doesn't go to any events. She didn't even show up for the Catholics last night at the hotel. It was insulting. All they are is sound bites. So today I was at Fox and Friends at 7 in the morning. I then went to 2 different other appearances. I then made about 15 phone calls. I've gone 48 days now without arrest. And I've got that loser who doesn't have the energy of a rabbit. Let me tell you something. She should have been last night with the Catholics. So all they do is put out sound bites. Tell me when you've seen me take even a little bit of a risk. Not only am I'm not even tired. I'm really exhilarated. You know why? We're killing her in the polls because the American people don't want her. She didn't pass her bar exam. She's not a smart person. She's not a person that should represent our country. So I just want to let you know that very clearly.
I'm sure you guys kind of get the point. This woman is not exactly happy about her situation. She's falling apart. She's cratering in the polls. She's collapsing. As a matter of fact, there's also this bit out there where she's now saying that Donald Trump is not doing any rallies, even though I went to his website and also playing for you guys here in the B-roll footage. He's got a lot of rallies scheduled, and there's also a lot of rallies scheduled with Vance. I mean, this whole room, this is another BS hoax. I mean, speaking of that, I'm actually going to one of those rallies that you guys saw in the B-roll footage that I got from. It doesn't look, the man's not slowing down, okay? If anything, he's ramping up the rallies. He's even got a scheduled appearance at Madison Square Garden, a massive rally on October the 27th. And supposedly he's trying to rent the Dome in Georgia, in Atlanta. I think it's Mercedes-Benz arena where the Falcons play football. The point is this right here. This man's campaign is obviously not slowing down. And, of course, people are beginning to take notice. Also, something else, too. People are also beginning to take notice that they didn't really have much of a choice when it comes to the Democratic Party nominee. Take Jim Gaffigan, for example. Okay, this right was the guy who was the MC, the host of the Al Smith dinner. And, of course, even he was taking shots at the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris.
22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, I mean, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that.
I mean, he's correct. I mean, it is a room full of Democrats. It is a room full of Catholics and
the Jews.
So therefore, it would be a slam dunk. By the way, I know people, and I have said that this was going to happen, that there are people out there who voted in the 2024 Democratic Party primary. Some people even voted third party, but they would still, well, not third party, but for the other candidate, the guy out of Minnesota, very, very forgettable. And of course, there's also the crazy Crystal lady, another person that, quite frankly, is just completely forgettable. They said that they would support Joe, but they would not support Harris, which I find kind of funny, too, because in 2020, they kind of voted for Harris because the intention was always to give her the presidency. And it just seems like a bit of a cope. But Jim Gaffigan is a serial Trump deranged person. But then again, though, maybe his mind might have been changed a little bit about that date we're not allowed to talk about. Here he is in the B-roll footage, as you guys can see, having a conversation about that date with Joe Rogan. You guys can see the captions at the bottom. JRE, powerful JRE, they love to put in copyright claims. I'm not going to play it because, you know, they just love throwing copyright claims. But still, though, the point is this right here. This guy right here is seriously Trump deranged, and even he is beginning to see that Kamala Harris is a terrible candidate and probably not worth voting for. And given the fact that she's turning herself and making herself more and more likable, even going back to the interview with Bret Baier, and given the crowd sizes are so small, let's just say the joy is obviously not there. But I did tell you guys that I was going to play for you those top 5 moments from the Al Smith dinner. Now, I'm going to play these for you guys, give my initial commentary, and then I'm going to come back and explain exactly what the symbolism here is, because there is, in fact, symbolism with this particular situation that should tell you a lot about Kamala Harris as a person.
Evening, Jim Gaffigan. Most recently, Jim has been playing Tim Waltz on Saturday Night Live, and that'll be a very short gig, I hope, Jim. But it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? Let's see how that lasts. It better be quick. We don't want him, and I'm not going to say anymore. But unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was. I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. That's not a pretty sight. Fact is, we need new leadership in this country. Right now, we have someone in the White House who can barely talk, barely put together 2 coherent sentences, who seems to have mental faculties of a child, it's sad. There's a person that has nothing going, no intelligence whatsoever, but enough about Kamala Harris. Let's get on to something else. I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Waltz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
My favorite quip was the one about communion with Gretchen Whitmer, and the one that I played for you guys earlier about, you see, I don't think those 5 moments were the best ones. But still, though, the former president was on his game. He was on his game in a very, very, well, room full of Democrats, people who don't like him. He even had some quips about Eric Adams. If you speak out against the state, obviously you're going to be indicted. So stuff like that there. Of course, it was a good night for him. The fact of the matter is this right here. Kamala Harris, who, by the way, was not at the Al Smith dinner, whom, by the way, the last person to skip the Al Smith dinner was Walter Mondale, 1984. And he lost 49-1 in that election. If you skip the Al Smith dinner, you're basically telling the opposition that you don't plan on mending fences after the election. You see, after elections, even if you lose, you're supposed to kind of sort of, I don't know, go back to the drawing board, say, look, you beat me fair and square. Let's try to work together. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Of course, we haven't had that happen for a very long time. I would say really not since about sometime in the 90s, but there's a different conversation altogether. The fact of the matter is that Kamala Harris is showing you and proving to you what, of course, was said and quoted several times in the book, The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt, to be true. And that right there is that right-wingers and moderates understand liberals, but liberals do not understand right-wingers and moderates, and you're starting to see that anger begin to manifest. In a lot of ways, it's not like it's the death of a child like what Mark Halperin was saying. In a lot of ways, it's almost like somebody saying, I'm not going to unite with you regardless. It's one side of the aisle not wanting to unite with the other. Look, I'll put it this way here. There's conservatives, there's moderates, and of course you've got the left, liberals. or leftists. People on the right, people in the center understand this crowd over here. But this crowd over here does not understand anything beyond this point here. Okay? I understand my hand waving is kind of messed up. But still, though, I'm pretty sure you guys get the point. It's more and more proof is one side of the aisle that just does not want to unite. And that's fine with me. Keep them over there. Basically, what's happening here is that Kamala Harris is withdrawing from the conversation. That's basically what she's doing. She's going into the echo chamber. That's something I spoke about earlier today in the video that I released with Tucker Carlson and his conversation with Mark Halperin. Mark Halperin being a Democrat pollster who ABC News fired for telling the truth about the election back earlier this summer. Actually, it was in the spring. My bad. Apologize. I think I even did a video on that. The point is this right here. Kamala Harris is showing you at this moment in time that she's not willing to listen to what anybody who may disagree with her or may have a difference of opinion on her, which, by the way, we've seen the evidence of this multiple times since she's been in office, multiple times since she began ranting back in 2019. And this right here is just more symbolism of that. I mean, there's even this bit where she lied about working at McDonald's, and now Trump, just to troll her, is going to go cook fries at McDonald's this weekend.
Question for you. Either today or tomorrow, you're going to McDonald's. You're going to be working the fryer. Are you going to wear the paper hat?
I'm going to do everything. I tell you what.
You're going to do it.
A friend of mine
He is
owns
going to do it.
McDonald's someplace. Oh, I'm going. Because she lied.
You don't think she ever worked at McDonald's?
I know she did. We checked it out. Unless somebody comes up with something. We checked it out. They said
that, to me, I think is the nastiest troll you could actually pull. But then again, at the same time, though, it's also absolutely hilarious, and it's one of the main reasons why it is that people are starting to like this guy so much. Harris's popularity has been cratering for a while, and of course, she chose to basically diss a function that's quite friendly of a function for roast, basically. She chose to diss that, and she chose to basically phone it in, or mail it in, as you might would say, by doing a small bit with Mary Catherine Gallagher, with character from Saturday Night Live, and by the way, was played by Molly Shannon, the film superstar. She was the Catholic schoolgirl that would put her hands between her armpits and then start sniffing them. Absolutely sick, absolutely disgusting. Then again, the early 2000s Saturday Night Live is, in fact, overrated, if you ask me. I'm more of a early 90s Saturday Night Live guy with Norm Macdonald, Chris Farley, those guys there. The fact of the matter is this right here. When you're in a popularity contest, when you're trying to add additional votes, it's pretty obvious that when people see stuff like this right here, they're then automatically reminded of why it is that they do not like you so much or do not like that person. You know, anybody who may have been on the fence for voting, say, for Trump, or is considering voting for her, but they don't want to vote for her, or maybe they feel like they begrudgingly have to, was just once again given another reason to stay home. Which, of course, is a good thing, because obviously I want Trump to win. But still, but it tells you that maybe what Mark Halperin was saying could, in fact, be true. But then again, at the same time, though, it could also be more of an indication of what I was saying was true. It's going to be a slow burn process. What this right here is this right here is the Democrat Party nominee withdrawing from the conversation, saying, I don't like you. You disagree with me. I'm going to walk away. I don't like what's been going on the past 10 years, even though you've been in charge for about 3.5 of it and screwed it up. The point is this right here. Kamala Harris, by dissing these people, by dissing the Al Smith crowd, by dissing that dinner as a whole, by disrespecting Catholics, and of course you've also got this other little gem where someone said Christ is Lord, or that is what the hell is believed to be said, and of course watch how she responds.
The intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Which just simply reminds people just exactly how unlikable she is. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that Christ is Lord was said in that little bit, and that she basically just said you're at the wrong rally. But just look at how this woman waves at the person as they're being pulled out. I guess they're being pulled out of the arena or they're walking out. Just look how she waves. Just look at the attitude. Just look at the smugness of this person. A California liberal who was raised in Canada. This right here is what you're getting. You're getting the very, very secular type that does not like you. By the way, this also tells me that she would abuse the office if she was given the office. But you guys tell me what you think. Now, guys, before I fully end this video, I did tell you that there was going to be some updates. However, The updates are not really going to be here for Claymore, even though I'll definitely reiterate what my plans are for the end of the year. So let's go ahead and get to that. I have a second channel, as most of you guys know, called Gear Issue 33. I'm going to be linking it in the description box. I'm going to be linking it in the comments for you guys. Probably going to pin it there. It's the channel that I wanted to start doing military movie reviews on. I wanted to kind of transform the channel. And I thought about it, and instead of creating a whole new channel for military movie reviews, I've decided to go ahead and start back posting to that channel. Now, granted, it's probably going to, knock the content down here, but of course, it's going to knock the content down here just starting next year. The idea was to go ahead and get that channel up and going fully this year, but of course, health situations have obviously caused a bit of a, a bit of a delay on that. But still, though, we're going to go back to starting doing military movie reviews. I'm probably going to get those out before the end of the year, probably in December. Of course, after the election, gives me more and more time to actually work on that. I'm posting a lot more, and I've also got doctor's appointments. But still, though, we're going to go ahead and start posting back to that channel military film reviews, probably like one every couple of weeks. But I just want to give you guys a bit of an update on that. I've decided to finally do what I was going to do with that channel. I'm probably going to change the name of it, and I will link it in the description box, and probably it'll be with a video, so that way you guys can subscribe there. Still, though, either way, though, Claymore, the plan is still the same. Transition the content at the start of the next year, or possibly after the election. You guys will know about it. It'll probably be a slow transition. Probably over a couple of weeks, we'll see more pop culture, more sports videos, especially during the NFL, during football season. But just know right off the bat that, of course, that right there is what we're going to be doing. I just want to give you guys a bit of a heads up. That way you guys kind of knew what was going to be happening with that second channel. Still, though, make sure you guys please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sound off in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.